Not too long ago, I was doing a thing about how I think it wasn't just me. I mean, I didn't create this theory, but that how demonic entities could travel on electricity, and that's how they move around. And with the expansion of cities, that's helped to proliferate their existence everywhere. There's something to it. And then this came up the other day in my feed, this picture here. And I was like, yeah, that's it. I think I even mentioned those things too. Those, what are they, Transformers, I think they're called? Yeah, but that's creepy. I never put that together exactly. But yeah, they're getting around quicker. I mean, there's more of them too. That's a whole other thing. But as I was looking through stuff, I saw this, started seeing this thing, and there's a lot of them on YouTube now, like videos about the C40 cities. Now, what they basically want to do is, even though they're always trying to get you into the city, they want you to not be able to have a car in the city. So it's like, it's just a control thing. It's another control thing. They want to get more people closer to the 5G towers, so when they zap them or turn them into fucking zombies or whatever they're going to do, it's easier for them. It's just, look, like you have you're a farmer, you got a bunch of cattle or cows or something, and if you have like 100 of them, you put them on this giant multi-acre grass and then build a fence. No, you want to get those shits all together. So it's much less resource cost. You can control them better. It all comes down to that. And there's a lot of other things they also get out of the deal. It's rare that they'll ever get just one result out of something or one bonus out of something. And it's because they reverse engineer everything. They figure out what it is they want, and then they create the situations that will enable them. It's the problem solution thing. Create the problem and then bring the solution. But before they do that, they figure out exactly what it is they want to have. And then they work backwards and bring it to a point where, So in that case, I mean, that's definitely what it is there. But they do most of their stuff like that because they got to do things backwards. You know what I mean? Because it's that gay satanic thing. Look, with opposite Friday, they're always in the mirror. And it's like, wow, that's really cool, guys. You guys are really cool. So it's that kind of thing. But yeah. In the other another thing that is, let me finish this C40. So I'd seen this material before in relation to Hawaii when I was looking for something else. It was like 2018. I saw that they'd signed on to this thing there as I don't know if it was called C40 then, but they joined the cities that have signed on to this kind of thing where they're going to have the 15-minute cities. You won't be able to bring your cars in there. The idea is that they want to have people that live in the city be able to get every service they need within a 15-minute walk. I didn't need to have to work over 30 years in civil engineering to understand that that's retarded. I did, but I think anyone could look at that and say, well, how the fuck are you going to do that? But it's not about actually accomplishing that, because that's not what they're actually trying to do. So that's just what they're telling you, the guys of this is. And it's the same thing, just more control. They're in a stage now where they're trying to get their animals all together. They kill off a lot of them. Because what I think it is, mainly, again, is a rendering problem. When you have to render for all these, every cow needs a rendering situation so that, you got to bring up all the buildings that this cow can see, bring up the buildings that cow can see. If they're spread out, that's a lot of computer resources, or just for example, I mean, I'm not saying that this is, we're in the simulation, and maybe the sort of landscape is in some way. We're not, but they like you to think that. So I think it comes back to that. Like, it's another resource issue. The closer they can get their cows together, right, the less rendering they have to do, because we're all kind of looking at the same stuff. So yeah, I saw it at the time that this Hawaii had signed on to this, and at the time I was like, is that new Green Deal thing? I knew it was some kind of stack and pack situation, and I did a little bit more reading when I found the stuff a couple of years ago, and one of the things that kind of was spooky was that what they want to do for housing is basically build these kind of people warehouses where you would, like, if you've ever seen Fifth Element, like Bruce Willis, his place, like that, they want you in something like that. You wouldn't have window access. You would have a vent, but it just goes into the next unit. It's pretty fucked up shit. And what will happen here, and I think that's why they've been working on the rail. I mean, this isn't, again, this is not just my exclusive theory. A lot of people said, well, not a lot, but you can't really talk to a lot of people about this type of stuff. But what they'd like to do is put all the feet washers way out on the other end of the rail. And the people that will be here to have their feet washed are just going to be the rich people. They want to make that divide really wide. And that's probably what's going to happen. You have people getting on the rail to come and work in here, get back on it, and go out to their stack and pack out in the middle of Bumfuck somewhere on the island, you know? They have a very grim future in mind. It's okay, because I don't think they're going to accomplish half of this stuff. They want to, but I don't think they can. The Christians on YouTube are flipping out about this, the rapture thing. I don't know about rapture, man. It's contradictory, a lot of it, from what God said he would do for his followers. But there's this other thing I'm seeing where it's like a bride rapture. And what that is that supposed to be there's two groups, I guess, going up. All sounds pretty fucking hay-bop to me. But the first group is going to be like the super good Christians, you know? It's called the bride's, the bride rapture. So like the important people. It's like that. There's so much of that in the community, the Christianity thing. It's a purity spiral, 24/7. Like, oh, have you read this? And they want to challenge you on what you know. And they flip out too, real easy, real quick. And that's bizarre to me. Because the way I look at it, and you know, when I talk about a lot here about how, you know, when there's kind of two different kinds of groups of people that can see, understand what's happening, and that have some connection to God and divinity, and then there's people that are just controlled by the system, like a system tool, and they're beholden to the OS, you know. And because of that, that's why I always say, like, you can't wake these people up. There is no waking them up. It's just not gonna. There's nothing you can show them. I think that should have been proved to you already over the past couple of years after we've seen what's happening here. But I always look at it as like, all right, we're one group, right, that have divinity, creativity. We have some kind of relationship with God. We understand that, and I don't care what way you worship or what your religion is. I don't give a shit about it. It's all fucking same thing. There's God, okay? And so when you get people that want to try to start breaking that group down to little groups, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not purity checking people on the street. That's retarded. And I'm kind of suspect of anyone that would want to do that. Like, you're supposed to be a good guy, right? What are you talking about? What do you mean? It's fucking crazy. So I'm not into this whole fucking... And, you know, even saying this, you'd have, like, raging people telling me I was in league with Satan or something. And I'm definitely going to hell now. Okay, whatever. We'll see what happens, I guess. In these crazy-ass times where people are persecuting Christians and trying to illegalize, and they are. I mean, you know, the leaked FBI documents, the putting the spies into churches that have Latin masses, like all this weird shit. What's that all about? You know, I know they use Latin a lot, and that's why they tell us it's a dead language. You know, it's a dead language. No one uses it. It's on every fucking important building and statue all around the world. You know, and everybody's like, okay, oh, good, yeah. No one's like, hey, what? They kind of know how that works. They read it, right? So, going through the FBI stuff, that just kind of stuck out to me. But they're trying to get you on Christian theorism, you know, which is another great new invented thing that doesn't exist, you know. But they weren't having much luck with the white supremacy. They couldn't really find those guys, and they couldn't make them as easily as I think they thought they could. So they moved on to this thing. This is the ultimate thing anyway. Ultimately, they want you to reject Jesus Christ. That's what this all comes down to. Everything. And, yeah, I'll do what I gotta do. Like, I mean, I don't, you know, like I was watching this other guy today. He was like, hey, I don't want to lose my head, you know, but if that's what I have to do, if that's what God asked me to do, or I need to be here for whatever reason, you know, because he was talking about the, what was that guy's name too? I'll find him, I'll put him up on there, I'll put him on the screen of his channel, but he was talking about the rapture and just how it doesn't make sense, with the Bible. It's not, in the Bible itself, man, I have my problems with that, you know, I've talked about that here. I still look at it, still read it all the time, and try to parse things out of it. One thing I did notice the other day reading it, though, is the repetitive nature of some of the dialogue going on. Like, they'll repeat everything twice, and they'll go through these big, long things. I was kind of memeing on it one day, because, what's the guy's name who lived in Babylon? Oh, God. Anyway, Jesus was talking to one of his guys, and he was like, he was going to destroy Babylon. And he was asking Jesus, he's like, well, what if there's one, you know, good man left in Babylon? But it took him a long time to get to that, what if there's just one man? He's like, what if there's 1,000 good men? And he goes, if there's 1,000 good men, I will spare them. And he's like, well, what if there's 800 good men? And he just went down this long thing. I'm like, what is the point of this? It's like there's almost some kind of code in there or something. And I started noticing that too. Almost always when Jesus talks, it'll be like, you know, they'll say to him, will this be a good place for, and I'm just throwing this out there, where we could bring the lambs and the wheat and the goat to be on the field with the mountain and the sky? And Jesus will say, yes, this is a good place to bring the goat with the field and the wheat. And they'll say it back to him like the same thing. I'm like, why are they repeating this? Why is this being repeated? Like, and it's a slog. It's a slog, I tell you. It's not a fun read, you know. But there's stuff in there. And I'm just kind of going through it, and I have been for months now when I started with the Old Testament. And I'm still doing the Old Testament. I just kind of jump around. I read the Old Testament more in a linear way. And I've just been popping in and out of the New Testament to try to see what lines up with it and what doesn't. And I guess I mean, it's whatever I'm doing with it, it's good. It's just to learn, you know. But what I guess I'm hoping for is something to jump out at me. Because that happens with everything now. I had to stop watching movies because it was just, I couldn't get through it, you know, because everything you see everything. All the messages, the symbolism, it just comes up. Now I see it in fucking commercials. I can't engage with any kind of media without seeing it. And I'm being shown more stuff. And a lot of us are. I mean, people are describing the same kind of thing, you know. So it's like, I don't know, I'm hoping maybe something will pop out at me there from that. And if it doesn't, maybe I'll be able to challenge one of those Bible lawyers on the street when they want to purity fucking check me. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.